The families and friends of those affected by the Boksburg gas explosion are still trying to recover from the physical and psychological trauma. 41 people died on Christmas Eve last year after a gas tanker got stuck under a bridge in a residential area called Plantation. Some residents are upset that no one has been held accountable for that blast. Let's speak more about this with a resident from Boksburg, who also happens to be CEO of Urban Ruins. That's Clayton Viljoen, who joins us now via our video link. And Clayton, it's lovely to have you on the program. Thanks very much indeed for making time to speak to us on this Christmas Day. And as we reach this one-year anniversary of this incredibly traumatic event, I wonder what comes up for you, because I imagine part of what's happening now is reflection on the loss and the pain that's been felt in the past 12 months.
Yes, yesterday was a difficult day. For everybody who stayed in the area, you could see it took toll on all the people. Whether they had lost someone or not, it was a difficult day.
It's the kind of thing that kind of shifts the dynamic within any community. And I wonder how you describe Plantation after that blast. I mean, it's certainly not the Plantation that was there before this tragedy.
No, definitely not. The loss was felt across the board, and for a long time you could feel it. But there was a positive. As far as the community was concerned, it strengthened that community. It brought it together, and everyone stood together and held each other quite hard.
Yeah. To what extent would you say that there's been any kind of assistance since this took place?
Quite honestly, nothing from the government or the officials. A lot of NPO, church, organizations like that stepped in and did a hell of a lot. We've had a lot of support in the lines of food and comfort, and for a lot of the families, they even got financial support. But no one's owned ownership of the accident. No one's come forward and fixed the structural damage on the houses or done anything along those lines.
And the route itself, is it still cordoned off?
Yes, it's still cordoned off. They've started repair on the bridge now. It's incredibly slow because there's immense amounts of politics as to where the money's coming from, who's spending the money or whatever. But for the last, I would say, 2 months, they have been chipping away at what was the bridge, although there's not much difference.
Yeah. Let's take a couple of steps back, Clayton, if we can. Do you remember where you were when you heard about what happened?
I was in bed. We heard the explosion. I live 6 blocks away, and Urban Ruins, the community centre, is literally 5 blocks away. And I heard the explosion, wasn't sure if I wanted to go out and check, and then someone came to my door and called me and told me I was needed on site. So that's how my Christmas Eve last year started.
Sure. Needless to say that life has never been the same since then. Are you able to tell us about your own personal loss, if there's been any?
I haven't had, personal losses in family loss, not at all, but I run the community centre within the area.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of the community. I mean, 90% of the community that fell that day, I knew already. And it was a hard dose reality to go around the corner, find your community lying there, burnt, charred, and in devastation. There was nothing we could do.
Absolutely. And how would you describe how the families have fared since then?
I'm quite proud of the families. I can see a lot of them have pulled themselves up and got on with it and moved forward. Yesterday was a really difficult day, no matter who you were, what your culture and what your beliefs were. The loss was felt across, and you could see it, the individual families really suffered. Throughout the year, they've tried really hard. We've leaned on each other to put each other's lives back together. We've had to get an external report done by a structural engineer, so we've got a record of what damages were done, because, as I said, no one's claimed any responsibility to pay for those structural damages. A lot of people had insurance and have used the insurance to fix the house. Others never did, used their whole life savings to get the house, invested it as a family home, and now living with that damage, which is not fair, not right.
Yeah. The company supposedly at the center of this, has there been any word from them?
Absolutely nothing at all. In fact, the last time I heard something was almost a week after the initial explosion, where they said they have got the insurance and would be able to cover it, but they're not prepared to take responsibility until they're forced to.
Yeah. Of course, Christmas becomes very complicated for people there who, without a doubt, are still grief-stricken, traumatized, completely unmoored by what took place about a year ago today. I wonder what Christmas looks like for them today.
I can tell you that the community in the area today is very quiet, unusually quiet. There is no music playing in the background. It's a very peaceful, but an very peaceful.
Sure, understandably so. Yeah, a difficult time. And once again, our thoughts and prayers still go out to you and many of your neighbors there in Boksburg, who without a doubt are still reeling after what took place 1 year on. Clayton Viljoen is a resident of Boksburg, also CEO of Urban Ruins. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us.